welcome back to my channel. For today's video I thought I'd do something a little different and do a anti-haul. If you are new here, my name is Natalie and I post 2 to 3 videos a week all about beauty and makeup. If you like what you see here today, I hope you will consider subscribing before you leave, but why don't we get started? It is usually this time of the month that I do my Will I Buy It video, but looking through the Trend Mood One Instagram feed, I wasn't finding much inspiration for products that I wanted to buy. So I wasn't actually going to do this type of video at all this month, but then I thought I really like watching people's anti-hauls, so I thought I would turn the Will I Buy It into an anti-haul. I know that kind of gives up the game as to whether I'm going to purchase things or not, but I do always like hearing people's opinions as to why they don't want to buy products, so that's why I thought I would do it that way this month. The first thing is from Sol de Janeiro. They have brought out a Bum Bum Sol Oil Broad SPF 30 sunscreen. My attention is always caught when Sol de Janeiro release something, especially something in the Boom Boom scent, because I absolutely love that scent. And because it is something slightly different, it's a sunscreen, it's an oil, which is something new, but the more I've looked into it, the more I've realised this product isn't for me. I was drawn in because it is the original Cherryosa 62 scent. It does actually say lightly scented, so it might be less strong than possibly the body mist and the fragrance and things like that. So it does sound nice in that respect. I don't like the idea that it does have shimmer in it, because for me, if you don't rub in those kind of products properly, then it just looks like a bit of a mess, and I'm not the best at things like that. And also because it's a dry body oil and I've never used a dry body oil before, I think I was just drawn in because it is the scent, and I wanted my sunscreen as well as my shower gel, my moisturiser and my body scrub to smell like that, and also my fragrance mist. I obviously just wanted to completely smell like this product. It is $38, which I don't think I've ever spent that much on suntan lotion. I think the most expensive sunscreen I've ever purchased is that, is it PF20 or something? The one that's like the all day one, and I think that's about £20. So yeah, I talk myself out of it, even though it does look like a really fun product, and obviously I can imagine it smells amazing. You are definitely going to notice a theme running through this video, because there are a lot of products in a certain category that are very popular right now, and it's not a category of makeup that I like, so it's quite easy to talk myself out of them. The first one is a new release from Natasha Denona, or a recent release. These are the Puff Paint Liquid Blush Serums. These retail for $22 each and come in 3 different shades. I just cannot get on board with cream or liquid or serum blushes or anything like that. When it comes to cheek products, I am all about powder. I do actually have a e.l.f. putty blush, which I have given a try to, and it's not a terrible product, but I just kind of can't quite go over to the dark side yet. I do much prefer my powder. I do find this kind of product really intimidating. I do want to possibly dabble in it, but I've actually been doing really good this month in not purchasing as many products. If you've seen my recent hauls, you will see that I have purchased quite a lot of products in the last few months, and I did step back and kind of look at my whole collection, and I was just a bit overwhelmed with skincare and with makeup. So this month I have tried to be a bit more proactive in saying no to things. That's why this video is actually kind of perfect, because I don't want to do a Will I Buy It, because that will talk me into things. I want to say no to everything and try and be good. It does obviously of course mean that my whole video at the end of the month should be quite short and not have many products in it. At the point I'm filming this, we are about 2/3 of the way through the month, so there is still time for me to obviously purchase more, but I'm going to try and stay strong, and hopefully this video will influence that. But yes, these are definitely a pass for me because they contain the words liquid and serum, which just sounds too intimidating. Although they are only $22 each, which I don't think is a bad price for Natasha Denona. The next release is an eyeshadow palette from Colourpop. This one has been out for a little while. This is one of their mega palettes and is the Your Golden palette. Looking at this one, it is kind of right up my alley. It's neutral with a couple of pops of colours. I've seen a few people comparing this to the Naked Wild West palette, and looking at it again, I kind of have to agree. It's that shimmery turquoisey shade on the top row, which I think there is one of them in the Wild West palette, and then that darker teal shade on the bottom row as well does kind of overlap. So because I do have that Wild West palette, I definitely don't need this. Generally, I do not need any more eyeshadow in my collection anyway, and eyeshadow is definitely a thing I do struggle to say no to the most, so I am quite proud of myself that I am saying no to more this month, and I say this is one of them. I also feel like I don't need another palette this big in my collection. I probably have every single shade in here 10 times over. I think the biggest palette I have in my collection is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, and I just don't reach for it because it is so big and kind of cumbersome, so this one was quite an easy pass. Another eyeshadow palette is from Luna Beauty. This is the Life's a Drag Facelift palette. This is a replacement to the original Life's a Drag palette from Luna Beauty. This one now includes 21 shades, whereas the original had 14 shades. There are neutrals, bright colours, mattes and shimmers, and it is $48. It is a really pretty palette. I definitely wouldn't get my use out of half of it because of the bright shades. I'm more of a neutrals girl. I feel like I have enough bright shades in my collection to be getting on with because I hardly reach for them anyway, so I definitely wouldn't get my full use out of this. Luna Beauty is definitely a brand I would like to try something from, but I just don't think this is it. Then we have another liquid complexion product. These are from the brand Made by Mitchell, and he has extended his liquid formula of blushes to bronzer. So this is the Blush Bronzed. Surely they could have come up with a different name because blush to me is blush, but anyway. So these are 8 shades and they are £16 each. Bronzers at the best of times I find slightly intimidating, so the thought of a liquid bronzer does terrify me. The closest I've ever come to buying a liquid bronzer has been the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand, because people make that so easy to use, whereas these just look slightly terrifying. I don't feel like I've heard any reviews of the blushes from this line, or the blushes, whatever they were called, so I don't really hold out much hope for the bronzer. I've not looked into reviews because I don't like these kind of products, but I just don't feel like I heard anything about them at all. So yeah, these are definitely a hard pass, even though they are quite a reasonable price. Then we have another eyeshadow palette to talk about, and from a first glance I didn't know what brand this one was from. So this is from KVD Beauty, and this is a 14 shaded palette. It does just say at this point coming soon to Sephora, available now in Europe, but I don't feel like I've seen this anywhere. Because of the clear plastic packaging and the stars and things like that, it does kind of remind me of the eyeshadow palettes that you did used to be able to pick up from Claire's Accessories. So not kind of the price point at which KVD Beauty is probably at. It does look like it contains some nice shades. It does have a few plums and purples in there, which aren't really what I'm drawn to. But I just wanted to mention this one because the packaging just looks so cheap, and this one is definitely not for me. Then we have a new collection from Spectrum Brushes. This is the Core Cosmetics collection. This does include some pinch pots, which are cream blushes. Have you noticed the theme yet? Also the Dark Matter Mascara, a Glowful Mist and a Glowful Primer. It does include the Dark Matter Mascara in that collection, but I feel like I have that mascara, so I think that's already out. Spectrum Brushes is a UK brand, and the prices here are listed in dollars, so perhaps this is a collection that has been released as a whole in the US, which is why the mascara is included as part of it. But I'm pretty sure I have that mascara, and I did use it not that long ago. It's quite a nice mascara. The main thing in this collection is, of course, the cream blushes. The packaging is absolutely stunning. It is something different, although perhaps a bit bulky to kind of store, but it would look really pretty on your vanity. So these are $25 each, and it says they are cream blushes for freshly pinched cheeks with a balmy skin-like finish, a blend of avocado and argan oil extract with a mini signature Spectrum BO5 brush included. The Spectrum brushes are amazing. I do have quite a few of them in my collection, but yeah, none of this collection is for me. I don't really like glowy mists or primers. Obviously I don't like cream cheek products, and I already have the mascara, so this one is a pass as well. But I do like that Spectrum are dabbling into makeup a little bit more, as well as the brushes. Then we have some new eyeshadow palettes from Colourpop. Surprise, surprise. There are 3 new palettes. There is the Lust for Dusk, which is a 16 shaded palette for $24. Then 2 9-pan palettes, which are High Tide and Fine Feathered. The Fine Feathered palette I feel like we've seen before from them, although it may have possibly been in a 12-pan format. It reminds me of the Bye Bye Birdie palette, which obviously Fine Feathered is probably what influenced it. The High Tide one, I feel like it is a little different, although it does remind me of that one they had a long time ago. Was it the Soul palette? I think that had some similar shades but wasn't completely monochromatic like this one. And then we have the larger palette, which looks like it's kind of dusty mauves and plum shades and things like that, which is definitely not for me. So these ones were quite easy to say no to because none of these colour stories jump out at me. I don't feel like these would add anything to my collection, and they're not the kind of shades I reach for regularly. Then we have something from Armani Beauty, which I don't feel like I know was a thing. I know Armani do clothes, but I don't recollect them doing beauty. It does say coming soon around June, So perhaps this is a new thing, but this is the Melting Colour Balm. So it looks to be a multi-use colour balm in 9 different shades. So I presume it's one of those products that you can use on the cheeks, the lips and possibly the eyes. Again, not a powder product, not for me, but the packaging is absolutely stunning and I'm sure the price tag is as well. Then we have some releases from Patrick Ta, the first of which is the Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. And then there are also some Major Dimension precision gel liners which come in 4 different shades. The eyeshadow palette is $68 and the gel liners are $26 each. It is a very pretty palette, definitely right up my alley with Colour Story. I have been intrigued by this brand because I've heard so many good things, but that price point is a little high for me. I don't know what that would convert to in pounds. It's probably going to be at least the £50–55 mark. So I don't think this one is for me, but it does look really pretty. I don't even know if you can get Patrick Ta here in the UK, but yeah, this one is a pass for me. Not that I think I can get it anyway. Then we have a new collection from Makeup by Mario. This is the Soft Sculpt Collection 03. It includes a dual-ended shaping stick, soft pop blush sticks, soft sculpt bronzers, soft pop powder blushes, soft glow highlighters and 3 dual-ended brushes. So obviously the dual-ended products are definitely a no for me because they are cream. The powder products have definitely caught my eye. Again, it's another brand that I would like to try something from, and yet again another brand that I don't even think is available in the UK. The blushes are $24 each, so that's not too expensive of a price, and the highlighters are $28 each. So these ones, they are still kind of anti-haul, but these were quite close to me possibly saying yes, but I've talked myself out of it because I've convinced myself that I can't get Makeup by Mario here anyway. So yeah, these were the closest I've come to saying yes so far, which I think we're about halfway through, so that's pretty good. The next one is a very easy pass, and this is from Dominique Cosmetics. These are the Silk Tone Cream Blushes, nourishing and smoothing, infused with vitamin E and hyaluronic acid, $22 each in 3 different shades. They look really pretty. $22 isn't too bad of a price, but again, cream blushes. I do have quite a lot of blushes in my collection, so I definitely don't need any more, but I do get drawn into them quite frequently, so it is nice that I can easily say no to so many of them. So yeah, pretty product, but yeah, as soon as seeing the word cream, skip past for me. Then we have a new concealer from Lancome. This is the Tint Idole Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. It's a hydrating and lightweight full coverage concealer that brightens dark under eyes and covers imperfections. This is $32. This does look really nice. I don't think I've ever tried the foundation, and I think this is a new product, but that foundation to me has kind of been out forever. So it does look really nice. It does sound nice because it says it's all-in-one usage to conceal, highlight, correct and contour. It says that it doesn't crease or cake and it's infused with skin loving ingredients, so it does sound really nice, but $32 is more than I like to spend on a concealer. Okay, one of my favourite concealers for under eyes is the YSL Touche Éclat concealer, which is about the £27 mark, which is probably going to be about the same as this, but it does take a lot for me to purchase something like that. So for now, because I've got enough concealers to be getting on with, I definitely don't need this in my collection at the moment. Then we have a new eyeshadow palette from Melt Cosmetics. This is the Brunette collection, which comes with 8 shades in metallic and matte finishes, and this just says coming soon, but I do believe this one is out now. I have been dying to try Melt Cosmetics formula. This is a neutral palette, and this one did kind of look right up my alley. But from what I've seen in the past, Melt Cosmetics palettes aren't cheap, so they are definitely an investment. And even though this is pretty, yes, okay, I probably don't need these shades because I have them a million times over in my collection. This one was a little tricky to talk myself out of, and if it was between this one and the Patrick Ta one, I would probably go for this one actually. But yeah, I just don't need any more palettes at the moment, so this one is a no. Next release and another eyeshadow palette is from Be Perfect Cosmetics. This is in collaboration with the Vivian, who is a drag queen from my city of Liverpool. So it is really nice to see that she is doing a collaboration with a makeup brand. Really pretty palette, gorgeous bright shades in it. Definitely not for me. I don't think I've ever tried anything from the brand Be Perfect, but it is actually a little more pricey than I thought it was. I thought this was a drugstore brand, but this palette is about £36, so I say it's a bit pricey than I thought it would be, but it looks like it does contain a lot of different shades. It also does include some face shades as well. It has 6 essential face shades, 2 supersized black and white pans, and then 33 shadows with different finishes and textures. So it does look like a great palette that kind of does a bit of everything, but it's just not for me. Then we have a product from the brand Lime Crime. These are the Sun Kissed Glimmering Skin Sticks. I just clicked on these because, if I was honest, it actually looks like deodorant, but it looks like it's a multi-use product. It says highlighting glimmer bronze or blushed looks for your face and body. Lightweight and buildable formula with hydrating properties. 9 shades, $25 each. Now that I know they're not a deodorant, I still don't like the look of them. I've seen products like this in the past and I feel like it just ends up like a kind of stripe on your skin when you apply it. It might be quite nice, I suppose, to put over the collarbones and things, but yeah, no, this one's definitely a pass. Then we have a new product from Drunk Elephant. This is the O Blues Rosy Drops. It says it's a concentrated liquid that delivers a rosy wash of colour to the skin in a few drops while supporting the skin barrier with omega fatty acids. This is $36. This does look like something a little different. I presume it is like a serum blush because of the kind of picture with the liquid and things, although it does look a little bit thicker, so I'm not too sure. Obviously, again, as I've mentioned, this kind of product isn't for me, but I do like that it is something a little different for Drunk Elephant. It is combining the kind of skincare with a slight makeup aspect, so it does look like a really good product, but definitely not one for me. And $36 for me is a bit more affordable for Drunk Elephant because some of their prices are definitely up there. Then we have a new collection from Jaclyn Cosmetics. This is the Bad and Rougey collection. This collection contains Moodlight Luminous Rouge, some cream to powder blush sticks, matte blush palettes, and some lip cushions. Will be available in Ulta in August. Individual items, not bundles. So I presume some of it's available now. Yeah, I think it says available now, so possibly just the bundle's available in August, because I think I have seen people picking these products up. There's nothing in here that really appeals to me. Maybe the lip cushion, $18, rich creamy lip colour in blushing hues with an ultra lightweight blurring finish. They do sound quite nice, but I've tried those kind of blurring lip products in the past and I've just not loved how they look. Even though they are really comfortable, I just don't like the kind of blurry lip look, so they're definitely a pass. The blush palettes look really nice, but I never seem to get full use out of a blush palette because there's always kind of 1 or 2 shades in there I don't like, so they're definitely a pass for me. Blush sticks, no. And Luminous Rouge, a subtle luminous veil of colour that has a radiant loose powder blush. I don't think I've ever tried a loose powder blush, but that sounds as intimidating as liquid blush, so again, another pass. Next we have a new release from Anastasia Beverly Hills and Norvina. This is the Volume 5 eyeshadow palette, which is a 25 shaded palette for $60. Really pretty palette, but I definitely don't tend to gravitate towards purples. I did try to give them a go a while ago, but I just didn't like any look that I ever achieved. The most I'll kind of go is a mauvey toned purple that I have in some palettes, but outright purple I just can't seem to pull off, but it is a really pretty palette. I have only ever tried one palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, which was the Norvina palette, which is a purple palette, so that one didn't work for me. I do think these Norvina palettes as a kind of line are a slightly different formula to the normal ABH palettes, but still, there's never been a colour story in these that has really appealed to me, and $60 is quite pricey. Looks like there are some lip balms as well. These are $18 each and come in mango, coconut and strawberry. These do sound quite nice, even though $18 is quite pricey for a lip balm. I do feel like I'm all set with lip balms and things at the moment. I have quite a few in my collection. So yeah, they have caught my eye, but not enough to purchase one. Then we have another quite large palette, and this is from Glamlight, and this is in collaboration with Michaela J Makeup. This is a 30 shaded palette for $42. Again, quite a lot of purples in this palette, quite a few different rainbow shades. For me, the top 2 rows is kind of where I'd live in this palette. They do look really pretty, but the rest of it I just know I wouldn't get use out of. $42 for that type of palette seems like pretty good value. I have heard really good things about Glamlight's formula, and I do want to try something from their formula, but this definitely isn't the palette for that. Then yet another eyeshadow palette. This one is from Buxom, which I wouldn't have said from looking at that picture. This one is in collaboration with Ash Combe. Sorry, I probably completely butchered the person's name, I don't know who that is. This is a 12 shaded primer infused palette and is $39, which is that expensive for Buxom? I don't really know what their price points were. I feel like I thought they were more affordable, but I only really kind of know them for their lip products. I don't think they're very well known for their eyeshadow palettes. I do believe they had one out a while ago. Was it the White Russian palette, which I don't think went over too well, so I say I've not heard the best things about them. This is a pretty palette, again more purples, so definitely not for me, but if I covered up the kind of right hand side of it I could make use of the rest of it, but I can't say that I'm desperate to try a Buxom eyeshadow palette, so another pass. Then we have another release from Besame Cosmetics, which I did completely click on just for the packaging. So this is in collaboration with Disney and is the Ultimate Princess Celebration. It includes all of your favourite characters in a series of 12 pieces. Each set includes a refillable metal enamelled compact with matching lipstick. It is $125 and it says the first launch will be the Belle set, which is on June 29th. I don't get what the actual product is. I mean, if you're a collector with money to burn, then this would be really nice. The packaging is absolutely stunning. And I do hope that they kind of show all the other ones. If they're going to release one a month, I would love to see the packaging of them all. Obviously the one for Belle is the rose and things. It looks like they're releasing them every couple of weeks between now and November. So I'd be intrigued to see what the packaging is and things, and they are absolutely stunning. But yeah, I wouldn't be spending $125 on it, especially because I don't even know what it is. I presume it's like a face powder or something. I don't know, but if I win the lottery tomorrow, perhaps I'll buy them all for myself. Then we have a skincare item from Pharmacy. This is the Honeymoon Glow Body. This is a resurfacing body serum. So I do believe they have a Honeymoon Glow facial product, which I don't know if it's a serum or a moisturiser. So this one is $40 and it is a resurfacing product. I have heard great things about the facial product, so I presume it is a similar formula but for the body, so it does sound really nice. But I personally cannot stand anything that is honey scented. From what I've heard, people say that the facial serum, it's not too heavily scented, but I think for me, because I'm overly sensitive to things that are naturally honey scented, I just don't think I'd like it. So even though it does sound really nice, one, because it's a body product, I probably wouldn't get use out of it anyway, but anything with honey I kind of just tend to steer clear of. Then we have some new additions to the travel series from BH Cosmetics. We have the Passion in Paris eyeshadow palette, the Party in Puerto Rico, and the Tanned in Tulum, I think that is. So this is 3 different palettes they are releasing. So the Passion in Paris palette is a very purple palette. That was a lot of alliteration. I wouldn't be able to say that 5 times fast. So as I've said previously, purple palettes are not for me, so that one was quite an easy pass. The Puerto Rico palette is more on the neutral tones. It is more kind of orangey, pinky tones, a couple of kind of cool tone brown type shades in there. So that one is really pretty and it did catch my eye. But I don't feel like it's kind of too different from some of the shades I have in the Chillin' in Chicago palette from them. So I don't feel like I need this. To me, that palette looks like actually a kind of combination between the Chicago palette and the Hawaii palette. So perhaps if you were thinking about purchasing either one of them, this one might be good because it looks to me like an amalgamation of the 2 of them. And then the Tulum palette is a face palette, which is 6 shades, bronzers and highlighters. I don't tend to go for facial palettes, especially ones that are all bronzers. I tend to go for blush palettes more than bronzers, so this one isn't for me either. But I have got a few palettes from the travel series in my collection and the quality on them is fantastic. Just these colour stories don't draw me in, so these ones are an easy pass. Next we have a new product from e.l.f. and this is an addition to their putty line, which they seem to be adding a lot of things to. And these are now putty bronzers. So these are just $6 each and come in 8 different shades. These do look like a nice product. Like I say, I have got one of the putty blushes and I do quite like it, but I don't love the formula enough that it makes me want to rush out and purchase a bronzer. The thing is with a blush, because I can kind of just pat it on the apples of my cheeks, I feel like that's fine, but I don't quite get how a bronzer would work, because the way I apply a bronzer is kind of diffuse it into my hairline and things and go a bit under my jaw sometimes or contour my cheeks, and I don't know how I would do that with a putty product because of the kind of patting motion that I need. I just feel like it would look a bit more stark on the skin. So yeah, this one intimidates me quite a lot. Yeah, definitely a pass for me. Then we have another Colourpop release, and this is in collaboration with Hello Kitty. These are some mini 4-pan palettes. There are 4 of them available and they are $12 each. There is also some blushes available, which are $12 each as well, and then some lip scrubs and a lip balm set. I was never a fan of Hello Kitty when I was younger, so this one definitely doesn't appeal to me in that respect. The palettes look really pretty, although they are quite bright, so I definitely don't need these in my collection, and I wouldn't be drawn in because of the Hello Kitty aspect, because I never really liked it when I was a child. I don't actually even know what it is. For me, I just seem to see Hello Kitty as kind of merchandise and things. Is it an actual kids cartoon? Because I don't think I've ever actually seen an episode of it. I just haven't got a clue. So yeah, easy pass for me. Then we have a reveal of a new eyeshadow palette from Laura Lee Los Angeles. This is the Candy Skies eyeshadow palette and is $45. This looks like a really pretty palette, especially for the summer months. It does have some kind of pastel shades in it, a couple of neutrals, and then some bright pops of colour as well. The colour story doesn't really appeal to me. Looking at the shades and things, I don't really know what I would do with this palette. It's another brand, kind of like Luna Beauty, where I do want to try something from them. I have heard really good things about their formulas, but this is definitely not the palette for me to try first. Then we have a collaboration between Makeup Revolution and Bratz. Something that I think Bratz was kind of coming in as I was getting a little bit old for this. So I was into Barbie, and at the point I stopped being into Barbie, people started getting into Bratz dolls and things. So I think I was a little bit too old for this. Absolutely love the packaging. It does kind of scream 90s, probably early 2000s actually. So it is really cool, and I do like what they've done with it. But yeah, definitely not one for me because I didn't follow Bratz. And I've just done one last quick refresh of Trend Mood, and there is a new shade from Fenty Beauty for their gloss bombs. This is the Hot Cherry. So it is their normal non-sticky formula, super shiny with a peach vanilla scent. It is $19. It's in the shade Hot Cherry. I presume it's going to be a brighter red shade. The opacity of their glosses are kind of in the middle for me. I know some of their darker shades do have a bit more opacity to them, so this one might. For me, I do quite like opaque glosses, but not ones that are in a bright red shade, so this one is another easy pass for me. So that is it. I'm up to date with Trend Mood. Like I say, there were so many products there that it was very easy for me to say no to. There are so many cream and liquid blushes on the market at the moment, but that is kind of doing me a favour because they're not my preference in products. I do definitely like powder, and then the eyeshadow palettes that have been released, I don't think any of them would bring anything to my collection. Although based on the size of my collection, I don't know what else I could possibly bring to it. There aren't many kind of holes when it comes to certain shades and things like that. I think I've got everything covered, and I think I just need to keep telling myself that, so that hopefully I will stop purchasing, because I have so much stuff that I need to go through. I do think that I'm probably overdue a declutter as well, so no doubt I will probably do another declutter, whether it be lipstick or eyeshadow sometime soon. With regards to my skincare, I'm kind of decluttering that as I go. I do my Shop My Stash skincare drawer. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at the moment, being able to say no to a lot more, which does feel slightly freeing. But other than that, that is it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thanks.